how he would run around acting like all the characters and whatnot. But
Something, nefarious behind King Kai's back every time he addresses Gregory and Bubbles, who are like my two favorite characters.
Shouting these like Russian lines, which Russian is already a really difficult language.
Bardock go on a date to a skating rink.
The accents, which doesn't happen a whole lot, I get really excited.
But it was great to play a book because no flaps. Haha.
Does that guy feel like that?
Now, coverage like no other. Bringing you videos from the event floor. You're watching convention coverage.
Ever.
Hey,
and
guys.
I'll let Justin start. My brother Reddit's.
Bookin' Saiyans.
Bookin'
guys.
Saiyans.
Hey guys, how are you today? My name's Justin Cook, voice of Raditz and Super Boo and Dende.
And as I like to call him, Super Saiyan Jesus, because when I met him, he had even blonder hair, and he had a beard, and I'm like, you're like Jesus, but Super Saiyan. You're like Super Saiyan Jesus. And he's in my phone as Super Saiyan Jesus. So if I call, I go, call Super Saiyan Jesus. Wait, see if she does it.
Calling Super Saiyan Jesus.
And she'll say, calling Super Saiyan Jesus, even though I have it in Saiyan.
I just missed a call from you.
Yeah, does it say Goku? Because I made the Verizon phone put it as Goku. And sometimes when I call business, they go, yeah, this phone said Goku. And I'm like, yeah, I put that in there a while ago. You a big Dragon Ball fan? I'm like, no, I'm Goku. And, I mean, I am a fan, but I just put it in there because I thought it was funny and then I forgot about it. Because you can change it to where when you're outgoing call in Verizon, like what your name is, So I just changed it a long time ago and forgot about it.
You come up as Sean with your blue eyes.
I do. It should say Goku, damn it. I got to change that. All right. Anyway, it's Justin. Emily's next. Sorry.
hello, I'm Emily Neves. I play Guinea, mother to Cactus
Mom!
and Raditz. Yes. Hi, two boys.
Hey, Mom!
Hey. Hi, son.
Hi, I'm Alexis Tipton, and I voice Kid Trunks and one half of Go Tanks.
That's awesome.
And I'm Alexis's mother. No, I'm Bulma. My name is Monica Rial, and I voice Bulma and Seer, the little oracle fish.
There's an oracle fish?
Sean. My name is Sean Schemmel. I voiced Goku and King Kai and Nail on Dragon Ball the last 20 years. And then I work on a bunch of other stuff like, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. And I'm on a new show called Lego Monkey Kid, which is not out in the US yet, but it's awesome, and it's going to be out pretty soon.
Awesome.
I'm still waking up, you guys. I haven't had any...
Same.
Caffeine!
And we were talking late last night, so my voice is gone, yeah. But I'm so excited to see everybody, and I appreciate everybody observing all the protocols and keeping everybody safe, because I'm high risk and my partner's high risk, and so I appreciate that a lot. And you got to keep yourselves safe as well, so I just wanted to say that. Thank you for that.
Good job, guys.
I know it's a giant pain in the ass, and it's hard to interact with us at our table, but we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes.
So let's do some questioning, etc. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I don't have any questions for
You don't have any questions for me? I think you answered all those last night. No?
Your scouter broken, mine's broken. Mine doesn't work anymore.
It works. So I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball Z. Grew up on it.
Clearly.
Sean, I don't know if you remember me. Like last time you were here, I met you like 3 times.
You did what 3 times?
I met you at the autograph section like 3 times.
Oh yeah.
So my question for you guys is, what has been your favorite line to record in Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball Super?
I'm gonna let you guys answer that because I'm processing 500 episodes real quick.
I know. It's easy for me because I only have like 15 lines in the entire universe. Don't forget us, Kakarot, yelling that as the pod was drifting away into space. I was like actually weeping in the booth. It was special.
I forgot you, just so you know. I did forget.
I figured.
Because something hit me on the head when I was little.
Right.
But other than that, I would have remembered.
Do we need to have a moment of family reconciliation like here?
Family moment.
I think that my favorite line, I think if I'm not mistaken, was an ad lib. Because whenever we get to record with Christopher Sabat working as the director, it's a lot of fun just to mess with him.
True.
He's my anime husband. I gotta poke him a little bit. So we were doing Battle of Gods, that first movie. And Bulma's been drinking a little bit, and Whis and Beerus come down, and Vegeta's like, oh, these are my friends. And Bulma's a little shocked.
That's hilarious. I love that.
Because, he's got friends. Like, this is not a Vegeta thing normally. So I thought it would be funny to turn around as she's leaving and turn to all of my guests at my birthday party and go, "Hey, you guys, Vegeta has friends."
Oh, yeah.
But the
I
best
thought that was
part-
in the script. That's great.
Maybe it was in the
No,
script.
I don't think it was.
can't remember.
I think that's an ad lib.
But I do remember delivering that line right into Sabbath's eyes. It's one of my favorite moments.
That's a good one.
The first thing that came to my mind was I think it was one of the first, or either the first or second episode of Super, when Kid Trunks and Goten are trying to find a gift for Videl, and they don't know what Oi de Toletti is, and they just are like going around town trying to figure out what that is, and it just becomes a game of telephone where they constantly like mess up what it's called, and then they're like, well, maybe we should get her a thing, we should bring like a hot spring to her, because it's good for broke down old lady butt. Like, and then she's like, well, I'm like 19, what do you mean?
That's hilarious. I love it.
Let's see. I have I guess the honor of having recorded a lot of these lines a multitude of times, and although I do really like the line that Raditz delivers to Piccolo, "Why so blue, green man?" which was kind of fun, or laughing at him that he had blown his arm off. That's some pretty funny stuff too. But when re-recording Super Boo, the director, Chris George, and I were working together at Funimation, and he started to scrub back and forth on the animation of Super Boo, who really looked like, and of course it's not in the show, but when you scrubbed it in this particular way, it looked like he was starting up the dance of that "whip it and nee." You know, like where it was the back tail. So those are kind of fun moments.
Love it, Justin. Yeah, I'm with Monica. My favorite moments are usually around ad-libs, but I have several, I think. I forgot my tractors, one of them, which was an ad-lib. And that whole scene with Mr. Satan faking the punch for Chi-Chi's benefit, was really fun for me. The moment where Broly is beating the crap out of Goku by having him grabbing him by the ankle, like where Broly's the Hulk and Goku's Loki, and he's just smacking him around. I Will Not Let You Destroy My World, of course, is a moment, because that's all over the internet. They just had cameras rolling, and I wasn't paying attention. They were just rolling. I'm like, I'm just going for it. Like, when you're working, you're not thinking about the camera, and so you just don't realize how ridiculous you might look when you're screaming your brains out like a madman trapped in a foam booth, But I'm trying to think of any other moments. I mean, there's some moments as Ultra Instinct that are really cool with the rainbow, the riding of the Kamehameha to beat, was it Kefla, Caulifla? I can't remember which one is at the end of that blast. But there's a lot of moments I really, really enjoy. It's just hard to catalog, you know what I mean, all of them? It's usually comedy moments, though. I tend to go for that. Goku accidentally instant transmits into Bulma's house, and then, he sees what he shouldn't be seeing, and then and Bulma's all mad, and then Vegeta's like, "What are you doing here with my wife?" and all this other crap, right? He's like, "I'm trying to figure out the cell phone," That's probably how I would roll if I had those powers, I suppose. But yeah, and the last three movies I just adore. I mean, the last three movies in Super is probably my favorite, particularly Battle of Gods, but all of it is amazing. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Good question.
Yeah, good question, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Alrighty, so my question is specifically for Justin, because this is about Yu Yu Hakusho. So I've been meaning to ask this question for a while. At the New York Comic Con, it was announced that the new OVA for Yu Yu Hakusho was going to get dubbed.
Correct.
Is that still happening?
I believe that those intentions are still gold.
All right, good, because I've been waiting. I'm like, I'll buy all the DVDs. I need it.
But you didn't ask the critical question, because you may not know this, but Justin is in charge of the dubbing department. So you guys getting that dub? Is the follow-up question.
I said our intentions are still gold.
Oh, that's the corporate professional answer there.
Is it?
So
that's just my answer.
I love it. No, I love it.
Oh, yeah, because I'm like, he's the producer. I know that. Alrighty, thank you.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Hello, waifu.
So thank you all for being here and spending the weekend with us fans. I know we all appreciate it.
We love being with you guys. Are you kidding? I'm out of my house. This is amazing.
Getting to see people for once.
Yes.
So I want to start off with Dragon Ball has been a really important part of my life. From childhood to adulthood, my husband, who's somewhere right over there, we've met 23 years ago on a Dragon Ball Z chat room. So that's how long it's been in my life.
Wow.
So having said that, I wanted to see how Dragon Ball has influenced you in your life and how your characters have been an influence on your life.
What a great question. I feel like I've been waiting for this question. If y'all don't mind, I'm going to jump right in.
Go for it.
So, talk about character development. I'm not going to slight Vegeta because he's got some major character development in the show. But a young lady who originally wanted some Dragon Balls to get a boyfriend has now become the strongest woman in that universe. She is the most competent, she is the most creative, she's an inventor, she's got the money, she don't need no man, but she hangs out with
She stands
the
up to gods.
So I have to say that if anything Bulma has taught me over the years, ooh, I'm gonna cry and I don't want to. Bulma has taught me to be a strong woman. Does that make sense? So like, I felt like I was a strong woman before Bulma, but once Bulma came into my life, it was like this force of like, if she's gonna be strong, you have to be strong too. Mm-hmm. And learning how to do that, like she's been just such an amazing influence in my life. And I actually aspire to be more like Bulma every day. So she has made a huge impact.
Does that mean I'm going to be afraid of you at some point? Does that mean I'm going to be afraid of you?
You should be afraid of me, Sean.
Or he's afraid of Chi-Chi, but he also...
Chi-Chi, I
Chi-Chi
think
and Bulma, though, right? I just need, like, he doesn't want to...
I feel like Krillin's the only one who's really afraid of me since I
True.
show up in his nightmares.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
What about y'all?
I'll let you guys go. Go ahead, Justin. How's Dragon Ball affected you?
You know, gosh. I mean, how has it affected me? Let's see, all my closest friends I've met through this. I've brought the ones that I didn't meet through this into this. I mean, this is my family. So, you know, when all of those characters kind of all team up there on Roshi's Island at the beginning of the series, that's the beginning of every day after, I presume, certainly before. But yeah, this is brought to me unity, friends, family, everything.
And you guys got to deal with screaming. That's what you got from Dragon Ball. No, I'm teasing. Tell us about your effect to Dragon, especially as you guys being kind of newbies. I'm curious about that. We've been doing it a long time, but I'm curious how it may have changed within that context even further, your personal lives, you know?
Well, it's interesting because, so I first encountered Dragon Ball when I was in high school. My little brother was like obsessed with it. And so I would watch it with him a little bit. And I just thought it was really cute how he would run around acting like all the characters and whatnot. But getting to play Guinea is such a huge honor. I believe, as far as I know, it's the first time she's ever had a voice.
Oh, that's true. That's absolutely
in the
true.
whole universe.
Yeah,
And so,
she didn't exist before. I don't think she was in the previous Bardock movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's super exciting for me. Just to like, you know, sometimes I'll just sit around and be like, I play Goku's mom. It just feels really cool. And I mean, I just hope that in some iteration she gets to come back and do more. We get to see more of what
Resurrection G.
Yeah, or that
Guinea.
would be amazing. Or like a prequel or something. I don't know. So I'm just happy to be a part of it at long last.
You were my
Wonderful.
mom too.
Oh yes, son, I'm sorry.
And now you all know
clear
why
favorite.
Radix is the bad guy.
Well, that was the villain origin story right here. I'm not loving you enough, clearly. Yeah, for me, it's the same thing. Like, it's really cool because, like, my brother and I used to watch Dragon Ball, like, when we were kids. And so taking on this role of Kid Trunks has been really cool because it's been, like, my childhood coming full circle. But also, this has also just been really cool because I am, you know, I'm not the original voice actress for Kid Trunks. It's just been, like, really intimidating, but also really wonderful. And everyone's just been really, really supportive. And so thank you so much. And it's just been so cool to be a part of this show that just has such a history and has such a legacy. And it's just really, really cool. And I'm just really happy to be part of it.
You're now a member of the greatest rock band in the world that doesn't do any music. Because that's how I look at Dragon Ball. We're a member. It's the greatest band in the world. We just don't sing, we just scream. I'm going to take Justin's note. I was actually thinking about this when we got on stage. Yeah, I'll be perfectly frank. I didn't, relative to whoever, I don't know. I didn't have the best childhood growing up, and I definitely had some issues. And I had definitely issues with trust and friendships and, trusting people, et cetera. And being Goku has allowed me to grow up in a way and develop the friendships that, like, all my closest friends that I really trust, like those people that you're going to trust, on your deathbed, they're all sitting on stage with me here right now, so it also allowed me to be able to do the personal exploration to transform myself and to improve myself as a better person, I hope, that I would not have had that opportunity had I done a regular day job. And I made a lot of personal sacrifice to get that, because I watched my family, family members grow up who hate in their day jobs. I'm like, that's, life's not worth living unless I can do something really amazing. And luckily I got the opportunity, and that's gifted me, personal, psychological, and personal growth and happiness, and being able to, in fact, everything I have, I study cause and effect a lot. And so my partner and all my friends and everything, it all comes from either directly from being on Dragon Ball or peripherally, etc. So yeah, my whole life, I think about it now, I'm 52, almost half my life I've been playing Goku, almost half my life. And I think that's true for Masuko Nozawa. I think she started in her 40s, and yeah, half her life she's been, so and what's weird about channeling that character, it's like riding an electrical dragon that does not let up. And I mean, it's hard to describe, but you just constantly, when you go into play, you're putting your soul into a 1,000-volt light socket every time you got to do it. And you see those videos, and when I'm screaming or whatever, that's every day on the job. And it's one of those things that is, they talk about something that's like greater than the sum of its parts. Like the Dragon Ball is just, I don't know if it's Akira Toriyama's magic or what, but it's just something that is like magically touches everybody, And so for me, I owe my whole life to the whole thing. I mean, it's everything I have is part of that, including my dog, even, like everything. So it's changed my life and allowed me to slowly become the man I've always wanted to be, and that's how it's affected me. If that helps. Thank you. I'm not done yet, but yeah, still, no, I mean becoming the man I want to be. Because, there's always room for improvement, but I'm not done. I'm certainly not perfect, that's for damn sure. But yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys doing today?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. Dragon Ball has been such a huge part of my life. Like, Dragon Ball was my first show that had a continuous storyline. Like, all my cartoons before that, you could pick up any point in time, the show just ran the same. And I remember making my mom go and buy a VCR that was programmable for certain times because she wanted to go camping, and I couldn't miss that episode of Dragon Ball, and doing like 30 test runs to make sure it was set up correctly so that I couldn't miss that. I just love it. And I wish I had a more in-depth question for you guys, but I really just want to know what your guys' favorite arc is in the whole series.
Oh, arc, yeah.
Mine's the Frieza arc, personally.
Which one?
Frieza, the
Gotcha.
Frieza arc, when Goku goes to give Frieza mercy, and he just wants to let him go, and Frieza just attacks him, and you can just see the pain in Goku's face.
Yeah.
As he has to kill him, even though he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
And it's just so powerful, and it just made heroes real for me, I guess.
That's wonderful.
They're so,
Androids through Cell games. For
Okay.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cell Saga's amazing.
Yeah, Cell Saga was always my favorite. I thought that was really cool.
I would say I've come to know that Dragon Ball is really ultimately to me about the Goku Vegeta arc. And so I've come to understand that, like, for me, the arcs aren't like the actual published arcs where everyone's obviously an arc. Like the whole, especially in the Majin situation where Goku's always trying to get Vegeta to do the honorable thing, and the Vegeta's, of course, is going to cheat like he did with the Majin business, And I think that whole relationship is what really, makes that, for me anyway, that relationship with Vegeta is the arc I like, I think, the best, which spans the whole series.
I think for me, originally, before Super, I would have said the Buu Saga, because there's a lot of like really hardcore stuff happening that I really, as an actor, really enjoyed kind of sinking my teeth into that. But with Super, then came the Future Trunks arc, and I was like,
cool.
That was hardcore and hit me in my heart. the word hope still has a very big meaning for me after that whole arc. So I'm going to go with that one. It's more recent.
Yeah, it got pretty dark there. Yeah, and the whole Goku Black business. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Goku Vegeta stuff really resonates.
What's that?
with me. The Goku Vegeta stuff really resonates with me.
I thought you were gonna say,
that.
you know, my favorite arc is the Guinea arc.
Yeah.
Pretty much all my scenes in that movie, that arc is my favorite. That would be that would be the answer I would.
Chopping the big hunk of meat is really was special to me. Talking about Baby Goku's hair was cool. So. He looks just like you. Hair. No, I just love that relationship.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
so much.
man.
Thank you. I want to point out, you know, there's a lot of people in the room, and that's amazing because look at what this community and we're in. You know, like the whole. I just realized that what everybody did during the was binge Dragon Ball.
You guys give voice to characters that mean like the world to me. It's like,
Thank you.
Dragon Ball has like been such a huge part of my life. Like going through middle school, high school, like I've always felt down, and then watching Dragon Ball always made me like feel like, look, this is so cool. Look at all these crazy attacks and stuff, all this screaming. It's just like, it's so amazing to me. And now that I'm like standing in front of you guys is like, what? It's nerve-wracking.
So sweet.
Thank you.
And I just want to like thank you all for this. But my question is that out of like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and Super, any of the movies, what would be like your favorite moment in the show?
All of them?
Yeah, that's a hard one, man.
You know, actually, I think it's the section of episodes where Vegeta's wearing the costume you've got on right now.
Yeah.
I always enjoy the little moments when there's actually not a crisis happening and people get to kind of hang out and be
Yeah.
friends for a little bit. Those are my favorite moments in the show, and they happen generally between every storyline.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think actually in those episodes when Future Trunks first comes in and then I guess leaves and comes back in 3 years, that ends with everybody kind of hanging out, and there's a great little set of offlines as the camera kind of pulls back from the Capsule Corporation house, and those little moments there are my favorites.
I don't know if you know, so Sabbath's whole theory on the Bad Man outfit, have you guys heard this?
Oh, this is wonderful.
His theory about that outfit that Vegeta is wearing is that it was actually Yamcha's clothes that he left at Bulma's house.
Because he thinks he's such a badass. You know?
Yeah, because of course Yamcha would think he's a bad man,
yeah.
you know. No, but I would say, I agree with you, Justin. I think some of the more kind of fillery episodes have been a lot of fun. In Super, one of my favorites was the baseball episode.
I love that.
Speaking of Yamcha, because it was like, how much can I flirt with Yamcha before Vegeta loses his head? So that one was a lot of fun. There was also another episode with Whis and Bulma, where they're hanging out and she's trying to make sure he's going to protect her family by giving him delicious food. And then Vegeta comes in the end and ruins everything. Because that was kind of art imitating life. Ian is a huge foodie, and we like to go out to
Ian is a foodie.
Yeah. And then Chris likes to come in and go, no, you're doing it all wrong. Let me show you. So that was kind of fun because it was like, oh, hey, it's like real life.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it's like, again, I like comedic moments. I love doing the Goku Kenkai scene in Battle of Gods because when you get an opportunity as an actor to do like multiple voices in a big scene, it's a big challenge, and you want to be able to pull it off so where people think it's two different people talking and it's still funny and it doesn't seem redundant to each other and that it's believable. So I tend to like those anytime Goku shows up on King Kai's planet, I love it because and by the way, there's a little secret. Every time Goku addresses Gregory and Bubbles, I'm always trying to give you this subtext that they did some very naughty stuff behind King Kai's back last time he visited. So he's like, Gregory, Bubbles, remember we did that thing? Like, it's always that, remember? You know, we took all of King Kai's weed or something? Or whatever. I mean, I know that they would do that. But you know what I mean? They got into his stash of brownies or something. I don't know. But I'm always implying that they did something, you know, nefarious behind King Kai's back every time he addresses Gregory and Bubbles, who are like my two favorite characters in the show. And so when they're all together, the whole dynamic with King Kai and Goku and the whole situation just becomes so ridiculous. It tends to be my favorite moments, you know. But of course, you know, I love the epic moments, but the problem is the epic moments are really hard to do because it usually involves like a lot of vocal pain. So it's like, oh, did you enjoy that? No, it hurt. But when I watch it, I do. I'm like, oh, wow, that was awesome. Oh, wow. Now, 3 days later, when my voice doesn't hurt anymore, when you're doing it, you're sweating. It's painful. It is not fun. And all you're trying to do is channel all this energy, you know, right through your voice and hope that it matches the animation. I mean, that's the goal. I do enjoy that. Everybody wants me to like the most badass epic moments, but I tend to like comedy, right? But I do enjoy those moments. I mean, it's hard to say because I guess I'm saying I liked all of it, I guess. Like, I guess that's what I'm saying. I hope that answers your question, you know? I mean, maybe you could tell me your favorite Goku moment, and then I might be able to riff with you, but I don't. It's been 20 years. I mean, well, not been, but we've been doing it, you know, over and over. But those are great questions. Did everyone answer? I didn't mean to interrupt.
I just like the comedy. I mean, that's just me in life. Like, I live for, I'm somebody who will make a joke out of anything, even when it's not appropriate. So I really appreciate all of the fun, comedic, goofy moments, the ridiculousness. So.
Wow, I love that. I love comedy. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vegeta.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vegeta.
Batman.
Not a Dragon Ball question, but a voice acting question. Which character or role throughout your entire career was the most fun to play? Like if you had the opportunity to play them again, you would jump at it in a heartbeat.
It's so hard. Because they're all like, you put so much of yourself into it. You know, as an actor, this is going to sound really weird, but go with me. When you perform, the best way to make a character your own and identify with them is to give a little bit of yourself and be vulnerable. Yeah. And in turn, you take a little bit of them with you wherever you go. So they kind of become like, without sounding weird and granola and crunchy, they become a part of you. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, what part of yourself do you like better? And I think we're all very lucky because everybody up here has gotten to play some pretty like badass characters, you know? Yeah.
Well, I agree with you. What was the question?
What is out of
the most fun role?
What is the
most fun? But I was riffing on what you were saying though. Like you were saying that it's a part of you. Yeah. Oh, I know what I was thinking. I was thinking that on that note, I've been doing this so long. I have to visualize my memories from my life before Dragon Ball to remember what I was like and who I was before Dragon Ball. That's and I'll think about it. I'm like, I'll have to picture a time when I didn't even know what Dragon Ball was in the 90s and think about who I was to remember because it's so infused in my life. I guess, were you done answering, by the way? I was just
well, no,
go ahead.
I'm just gonna say to maybe take it into a different direction, maybe like vocally, what is the most fun since I can't pick a baby?
Sure, vocally.
But for me, I think the things that are the most entertaining, the roles that are the most entertaining are the ones that are as far different, like as far from my normal speaking voice as possible.
Yeah.
So like, you know, Bulma's kind of a little bit lower than I am, so that's a lot of fun to do. But then when you get like Froppy from My Hero Academia, like this voice is ridiculous and I love doing this.
Or like if you watch Black Clover, I play Mara Leona, which is my version of female Vegeta, so.
That's funny, I like that.
Those are the ones that I find the most fun just because.
I like voices that tickle my ear on like the sound of them.
Yeah.
All of those did that, good job. That's great. Well, you know, just the sound of it. You don't even have to, you don't give about the dialogue. You're just like, oh my God, I can hear that all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I'm a big like accent nerd, so anytime we get to do shows with accents, which doesn't happen a whole lot, I get really excited. So, but yeah, I mean, everything you were saying about there's so many different roles that are so fun, but that was the first thing I thought of was just I get filled with glee when we get to do accents.
Yeah.
So yeah, any of those roles.
I relate to that a lot. In fact, all the ones that I'm thinking of, I had like 4 pop into my head immediately. One very recent I did in Combatants Will Be Dispatched, Lilith the Dark. A funny story about that. So when Anthony sent out the sides to audition, he said that she was kind of like Dexter from Dexter's Lab. So I did like a normal standard American like mad scientist take, but then I did another take and did all the lines as Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. And like I booked the role, and like normally I wouldn't do something like that because you know it can be seen as kind of unprofessional. But I know Anthony, and like when I'm in the booth recording with Anthony, it's just like a big improv joke fest. So yeah, I got that, and we knew that we couldn't make her like Dexter, but we were like, let's find something else. So we settled on something that was really like like Stewie from Family Guy. And so every time I went into the booth, it was like this like zany British dialect. And she didn't really talk a whole lot, except for, I think in episode 10, it's like all of them hanging out. And so I really got to lean into that. And like, we would record some lines and just like die laughing and be like, that is so dumb. I love it. So there's that. And then also Umaru from Himoto Umaru-chan. Again, like laughter is like my number one, laughter and mischief are like my number one core values. So Umaru recording with Kyle Jones, it was the same thing. It was like, if we would crack ourselves up or like throw in a stupid ad lib or just like, you know, be ridiculous, those are like my number one moments in the booth. But I will say that Ryu Minane from The Future Diary is my all-time favorite character ever, because what's fun about that role to me is she starts the series as the villain. She's and so like, you know, she's this like badass chick, you know, and then as the series goes on, she goes through all this trauma, physical trauma, emotional trauma. You see her childhood trauma, and like she finds her humanity and is sort of redeemed in a way. And so that really in-depth character development is like just heaven for me as an actor, to be able to like really sink my teeth into somebody's flaws, but also their humanity. Even though it is brutal and painful, you know, lots of tears and screaming, it's still, at the end of the day, like super satisfying and very fun. So I'd say those three are probably my top, most fun.
By the way, on a side note, it's really enjoyable for me to watch folks who are new, actors who are new to the Dragon Ball series come into it and watch how it affects you, and thinking about when I came into it and how it's going to change you and affect you, because it's such a powerful thing.
For sure.
And it's fun to, I don't know, I just feel like, you know, your weird older uncle or something. Like, you know, and like, welcome to the band. It's going to be a ride. Okay,
Yeah,
here we go. Like, it's going to be a ride. But as far as the voices I like doing, I just realized what you guys talk, I love doing, my favorite voices are impersonations I do of my friends. Like, J. Michael Tatum's one of my favorite voices to do. And it's not really how he sounds, but I told him yesterday it's how he makes me feel. Like this, all the time. Hello, Sean. Today we're going to talk about sherry and the, you know, whatever, you know, like, or, I don't know, fine wines. But the voices I've done, that I like doing, right? I love playing Batman in The Dark Knight Rises for iPad, because I was doing a Christian Bale impression, which was really just fun to talk like this the whole time. I'm not wearing hockey pads. That was fun to do. And I enjoyed on Sakamaru and Ninja Nonsense, which is loosely based on Will Ferrell's Anchorman. Yes. Thank you, on Sakamaru fans. He's really hilarious. Totally bathroom humor, you know, Benny Hill humor. Just a orange ball or yellow ball that's like any anime. So I love playing that. I love playing Dr. Crowler in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I love playing Ojama Yellow, the little yellow guys that talk like this. The little Ojama Yellow guys. Let's see. I love playing all those. What turns out, a lot of the weird voices I did on Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they would just throw me on something and they would just let me do an impersonation, are becoming weird memes. Like the Crystal Beast Mammoth was my Arnold Schwarzenegger impression, and I was just like, get to the chopper, I'll be back. And it's just a big elephant that talks like, that's fun. And then there's another viral one where they wanted Mad Dog to sound like I can't do it now because it's in my tenor and I'm fried from talking last night. But it's like a baby boy sitting up here talking like this the whole time. And I tried to make it as annoying as possible, and apparently it worked. So any kind of weird, and I'm an accent guy too, like when they don't want me to do, I'm such an accent guy when I used to do ESL. They're like, well, we'll do the accent, but slightly less. I'm like, yeah, now I sound like a guy doing a bad accent.
Yeah.
We need to do it exactly right.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm really particular about, and I don't like it when they want to soften it or take it out, or people get worried about offended. I'm like, look, we're just trying to authentically play characters here, so it doesn't really matter what my genetics are, although I'm not 100% white. But, because I had a DNA test. But yeah, I like doing accents. I like doing I like doing voices I can't do.
Yeah.
Like, I do good hands with all state. I can't do that guy's voice. I want to do that voice. I do good hands. That guy, I forgot his name, but he's got a really deep voice, and I've been trying that voice forever.
What voice?
The guy, are you good hands with Allstate? The Allstate guy. Are you good hands? He's got that really thick, creamy. He's got a wonderful voice. I like doing voices that are way out of my range that I can't do. And what's weird is, let me ask you guys this. I'll ask an ancillary question. For me, voice acting or doing voices is about spiritual channeling. And what I mean is that when I would watch Scooby-Doo and like Scatman Carruthers on Scooby-Doo, and he talks like this the whole time, Scoob, we gotta find the ghost. I'm like, do you really feel like this all the time? So I'm like, when I'm doing a voice, I'm like, does that guy feel like that?
Yeah.
Like, am I feeling like, I don't know if it's because I listened to Peter Frampton Comes Alive too many times in 1977, but do you feel like we do? But, you know, like so when I'm doing a voice, I do an impression of my friend Brian that I've done for 30 years, and every time I call him, I just do an impression of him. And I go, you know, the reason I do that is because you only have one emotion. He goes, what's that, fun? And I'm like, yes, you only express one emotion, and that's fun. So every time I do your voice, I feel like fun.
Awesome.
And so I do it to feel how other people feel.
Yeah.
A lot of times they think I'm making fun of them, which isn't the case. You know, I'm just like, I'm doing a voice, and it lets me to connect with people by doing does that make sense?
That's
I guess?
beautiful.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So that's my answer. Sorry, I hope that was weird and long, but there you go. Ding! Justin, did you answer?
What?
That's how our phone
I
calls
will
go,
say
right, Justin?
that you changed my answer. I was going to start talking about how you don't have to match flaps with certain characters. And so anybody that comes up, like I voiced a book, and that was in Shauna, which was Mercutius, I mean. But it was great to play a book because no flaps. Haha. But actually, you then mentioned Scatman Carruthers.
Yeah.
That's like, that guy is the reason I'm doing this. I love that actor.
You love Scatman Carruthers? I love his voice too.
I mean, so anybody watch Transformers growing up? Or now? Right? You remember Jazz? The Porsche hangs out with Optimus Primal. And that's Scatman Carruthers, man, and that was him. So if you want to know what I felt like, Scat had a great way of like, oh, by the way, has anybody seen The Shining, right? Jack Nicholson? Remember the poor unfortunate guy who gets the axe? It's Scatman Carruthers, right?
Yeah.
So now you know what he looks like. But he's got such a great voice, Kong Fooey. But yeah, I feel like that guy's voice and being able to bring that emotion with that unique.
But I wonder if he feels really uptight all the time. No.
But it's not always like that.
You know,
sometimes he'll just be talking to Optimus and say, "I get it, brother."
Yeah.
And I think that's his cooled out voice, man. No. Yeah. So yeah, I guess anytime you get to bring some of those, like I guess it was in the musical Show by Rock. That's the one. I got to kind of bring that Scatman Carruthers impersonation into Strawberry Heart, the guitar.
He's a talking guitar.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
And you also didn't have flaps for that.
No, and I didn't have flaps. It was a double win. There you go.
Good question.
Thank you.
Good question.
Believe it.
Hey,
Right,
friend.
Matthew.
Hello. I just wanted to first just express my like joy for the show, and me and my older brother, he's 21 now, but me and him used to watch the show every like Saturdays and stuff like that on Adult Swim, and we used to just like watch the DVDs as well. And my question for you guys is, what is like your favorite episode that you guys recorded?
No way to answer that. God. Yeah. The last three movies are my favorite. Last three movies in Super are probably the favorite things I've recorded. That would be the most fun I've had. Those last three movies in Super. I mean, I enjoy record all of it, but yeah.
Well, and I think for us, the reason that it was so special, though, is because it's the first time that we haven't, we were original voices on that, or at least original English voices.
Yeah.
We've always kind of.
Well, it was also new story material.
Yeah, totally new material. So.
And new characters like Beerus and Weiss.
Beerus and Weiss are awesome.
Awesome. So yeah, that would be my favorite. What about you guys?
I mean, I've only done
The Guinea art.
Bully, so the Guinea art. That's gonna be my answer from now on for the rest of the panel.
I don't know the exact episode number, but it's the one where Trunks comes in for the first time, and outside of a crater, Goku with his crazy yard rat outfit on is having the conversation with Trunks. And the reason that's my favorite episode is that's my first day on the job. I recorded Sean in the morning and then recorded Eric Vale in the
That's
afternoon.
right.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you go.
Oh man. Honestly, I know this isn't your question, but I think the recording on the show is really fun, but I also really love recording on the video games because a lot of times it's like a rehashing of events that happened in the series. And since I am sort of late to join the party, when we do the video games, I get to then sometimes go back and dub scenes that I wasn't around for in the anime the first time. So like, I don't know, it's so cool. And there's just so much of it, it's hard to remember everything.
I think I'm going to say, just for the sake of today, and this could change at any moment because I'm very indecisive, you know this. But I think for right now, the first episode in Super is one of my favorites because it's the first time you get to see the Vegeta family acting like
I love when
family?
they go to the fair. When they go to the fair in like episode 7 or something, and then Vegeta has to keep his cool in a mosh pit.
and you get to like see them interact, and then you know he goes off and does his thing. But at least you know there's the little stolen kisses. Because let's be real, for the longest time I was like, why are they together? When did this happen?
At least they kiss. Goku doesn't know what kissing
That's
is,
true.
according to Super.
But at least we got to see the relationship between the family. Speaking of which, are you hungry, son? I have some snacks for you.
I'm really hungry, Mom.
Here you go. Here you go, baby. There you
Thanks,
are.
Mom.
I gotta take care of my son.
Do I have a juice
Oh.
box? I really want the juice.
Do you have any juice
They
boxes?
didn't have any juice boxes, but I got you a water, baby. Here you go.
Some Doritos.
Oh my God, those are my favorite chips, Mom. You're
I
amazing.
know how you love your Cool Ranch Doritos.
Okay, I'll forgive you for not getting me the PS5.
That was your father's job. He failed again.
I got no snacks for you boys. You're grown men. Find it yourselves.
Great question, though.
Yes, that was a great question. Thank you.
All right, thank
Sorry
you.
to steal your question.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, sir.
Hi, how y'all doing?
All right.
So, I came here as Law.
Yes.
Trafalgar Law.
Yes. Oh, but my question is, who is your favorite One Piece character? Because you guys had these Dragon Ball questions, and it's really hard for you guys to like answer them because everybody's like, "What's your favorite thing? What's your favorite thing?"
So you give us another show that's equally as long to choose
No,
favorites
but
from.
look, if you think about it, One Piece has a lot of characters, so you can just pick anyone. Like, and I don't think anyone will be mad at you for that. So.
You'd be surprised, man.
Yeah,
Because I
right.
couldn't pick between Kid and Bellamy which one's better. That's
Oddly enough, I think we are. Are we all on One Piece?
No.
Okay.
I am not on One Piece, and I'm not gonna lie.
only a matter of
right?
time.
I know,
Yeah,
we're
you'll
gonna run out of
get your
people,
chance.
finally.
You'll get your chance.
And I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I have not seen a single episode of One Piece. I don't know anything about it.
Don't worry
But
about it.
I
Well, it's about a stretchy little boy. No.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
I will say, as far as characters go, I do like Trafalgar Law. I think he's pretty rad. I also think it's really funny that Tashigi and Zoro are basically Bulma and Vegeta in an alternate dimension. Only she's chasing him down constantly and yelling at him. So, and I will say, yelling Roronoa Zoro at the top of your lungs while pretending to hold a sword is very difficult.
Yeah, that is.
Roronoa
I,
Zoro.
I think I'm one of the only actors, if not the only actor, to be both on the 4Kids One Piece dub, as well as the only One Piece I've done for Funimation is one of the movies where I played Dr. Indigo, the flaming fireball juggling clown guy or whatever, which was really, really fun. And so I think those are the only characters I've played. And I've played like Hachi and Wapo and I can't remember who. I played 5 or 6 characters in the 4Kids one, which was radically different than the Funimation one. I mean, I think the Funimation one's better actually, but because you guys are doing it like by the book, so I appreciate it. But that's all I have on One Piece. That's all I've done.
Yeah, I just remember the scenes I dubbed. I played Fukuro. He was part of CP9. And he, because everyone has like vocal tics in that show. And so it's like he was the chapapa guy. But yeah, that's all I remember is just the CP9 arc. So that's all I got.
I felt I started the answer. I can't pick a favorite.
Just say Eustace Kid so everybody starts clapping.
There you go. I'll take that one.
Thank you.
Although Bellamy's good too.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
My question for you guys would be, what's the most difficult line you had to record?
Line?
Yes.
For Dragon Ball?
Just in general.
Well, line to get it right, emotionally or physically difficult, or
physically difficult.
Physically difficult. I'll let you guys go first because I got to think about that one.
Like the 100th Super Boo line. Yeah, he really hurts right here. Always. It's in the front of the brain.
Yeah. A lot of Aries stuff in My Hero was technically difficult for me to record because I had the challenge of, playing a 6-year-old girl, but also conveying authentic emotion in that range. And it's such a very small range, like it's just a little teeny part of my vocal cords that vibrates to do that voice. And so to channel that, like all of her trauma and all of her grief and all of that into just that little section of my vocal cords and make it sound real, and have it really live in me and then come out just through that little piece is so difficult. But thankfully it wasn't very long. It's just like little spurts of that really intensely difficult technical acting, actually. So.
Yelling as Kid Trunks is really hard because that's already an uncomfortable part of my voice, and then when I have to yell, it's like even worse. Another thing that was really challenging was I played Gina in How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift, and she's Russian. And there were a lot of times where she had to I had a vocal or a dialect coach for that. It was so cool. Funimation gave me a dialect coach, which was amazing, because she also had to speak Russian, and so there would be times where she would be losing her mind over something and shouting these Russian lines, which Russian is already a really difficult language. And so it's okay, I'm focusing on the script and I'm focusing on my accent and I'm focusing on saying these words in Russian. I'm focusing on saying them really fast and I'm focusing on matching flaps. So there's just a lot going on there. But
I can relate to the screaming in Russian because I played a character that I couldn't even scream as long as Goku. It was so difficult to play that I could only scream for an hour at a time. And that was Colonel Cossack on Thumb Wrestling Federation, and he was a thumb that always screamed like this all the time, but louder, way louder in my falsetto.
Wait, you were a thumb?
I was a thumb. I was in a show called Thumb Wrestling Federation, and I played 12 different thumbs. And they had to think 4, 3, 2, 1, who will be the strongest thumb? And then they had little masks on. It was on Cartoon Network. It was on Cartoon Network for a while.
This is why voice acting's so fun, because you can sit up on a panel and say, I voiced a Russian thumb.
I did. I voiced a Russian thumb.
And you were paid for it.
I got paid for it. Yeah, screaming in Russian is really hard in your fault. It's harder than playing Goku. That was only an hour at a time. I used to do 12-hour days of Dragon Ball. But screaming in your falsetto, oh my God, I relate to that. But as far as Dragon Ball goes, you say the most difficult? It's hard because the Broly movie I saw the Broly movie and I was like, yeah, that's gonna be hard. But it wasn't that hard because it was a movie versus another 100 episodes of that much screaming. But I would say that Super Saiyan 4 Kamehameha, when I passed out, that was really hard. Super Saiyan 3 was not. Any screaming's hard. It's hard to describe, you know what I mean? Anytime you see a giant fight, epic thing that's going on, it's we're doing all that in real time. I do all the fast fighting in real time. It'll just roll it, and I'll just do it all in real time. I try to sneak in little words and phrases in there. It doesn't always work. Anytime you see that going on, I'm having a hard day. If it's just intense, that's in an episode, yeah, I'm having a rough day, period. But I enjoy it when it's done, that's for sure. And usually you're sweating pretty good. And they blast AC in those booths. Yeah. You're killing it. It's crazy. I think it's the best answer I can give you. I'm sorry. I wish I could do better.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think for me, there was one show where I actually had to speak Japanese.
Wow.
I played Maho in Steins Gate Zero. And we had this moment where my character is a translator for an American speaker. Yep. And they were like, how are we going to convey to the audience that she's actually Japanese? Kind of giving the impression that she is translating. So we decided the best way to do that was to have me start in Japanese to give the impression, and then I would switch to English.
Yeah.
It was super cool, but Japanese is difficult. Mm-hmm. They were like, you speak Spanish, you'll be fine. I'm like, apples and oranges. Two totally different things. The other thing that was difficult was once you got it down phonetically, then you had to match the flaps of a native speaker.
Oh, that's tricky.
Yeah, and I even there was, I forget her name, but one of the ladies at Funimation that is a Japanese speaker, she was in there coaching me the whole time, thank goodness, because otherwise, and I had 2 hours to prepare. They're like, hey, guess what? In 2 hours, you're gonna come up and speak Japanese. And I was like, what? Nani?
Dude, we had a dialect coach on Ghost of Tsushima. We had a Japanese speaker in the booth with me.
Oh, wow.
For every single line. And we had a mocap mic on my forehead, and then we had a large diaphragm condenser out there. So what I did was every time she had to correct me or fix a line, I would just point my head at her. Yeah. Because the mic's pointed right at her, and then she'd be talking right into that mic, right into my headphones.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then they wouldn't let us go on until I would get it right for Ghost of Tsushima, which was amazing to work on. It's very hard. To get all the subtle nuances of Japanese right is challenging, for sure.
Super. Yeah. Good question.
Good question, man.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. One more.
Hello, everybody. Hi. I'm so happy to stand right here in front of you today. I have you guys to thank for dragging my friend of 11 years down the anime rabbit hole. Now he's going nowhere. So I'm happy to meet you all. And I have a question for all of you regarding the more mundane parts of Dragon Ball, where they have to go shopping or Goku and Piccolo driving cars. So if you got to direct or maybe pick a situation for your character to be in, where they get to do something completely different from what they normally do. So maybe it's Bulma actually fighting someone, or it's Goku driving cars again. What would you do?
I always wanted to see King Kai pull a Yoda and have a real badass fight, you know, like Yoda did. And he's just jumping around. You know, and he's totally amazing and very nimble for a very large round. I love that meme where they draw underneath King Kai's clothes and he's all ripped and squatty. Like, I love that meme. So that's what I would want, is King Kai pulling a Yoda.
I think for me, my fiance always says that Bulma is the Iron Man of the Dragon Ball universe. When you think about it, she really is. I just need her to build a suit so that the next time these jerks try to leave me behind, I can actually go kick some butt with them.
There you go.
I really want to fight.
Yeah, why hasn't Bulma built an Iron Man suit? She's got the tech.
All I can say is there's one game that we've done that's a phone game, and Bulma actually gets to fight, and we had the Japanese on the line, and it was in the middle of the night for him. And I got so excited. This was like way before I got super excited about getting to fight, so much so that the guy on the other end of the line was like, Are you okay? Are you gonna be all right? I'm like, I get to fight! It's like, it's 3 a.m. I'm like, I get to fight.
Do that for 20 years and call me. No.
Exactly.
It's fun the first time.
I think seeing an episode of where all the characters that seem to have where's Launch? Like a Where's Launch episode, I think would be great. Like, what's Oolong been doing? Like, Poir seems to have completely disappeared.
They should do a tournament of power for all the secondary little characters, like Chaozu and
or a Piccolo driving episode, whichever one would come first.
Cuts to them in a bar, and they're just drinking heavily.
I was gonna say I would like to see Gine and Bardock go on a date to a skating rink. Skate together. I think that would be cute.
I would like to see a Saiyan skating rink.
Yes.
Yes. Well, sometimes I'll see all these posters of Goku in different poses, and they'll draw it in such a way where they'll put sparkles and stuff. Different artists draw it in these different poses, and it looks like Goku's at the disco doing different poses. You know, and they'll put lights, and I'm like, I want to see, Saiyan disco.
It's a skating
You know,
rink. There you go.
that'd be hilarious.
I want to see Kid Trunks do something like really creative. Like he's like, Mom, I made this painting for you. You know, like something like really gentle and creative, and he's not being a little punk about it.
Good question.
Thank you. Yeah, I love it. All right, I think that's going to wrap us. I want to thank everybody for coming and sharing this time with us. My esteemed colleagues, Monica Rial, Alexis, Tipton, Emily Neves, and Justin Cook, Super Saiyan Jesus, thank you all. We'll be at our tables later.